Who do you think I am? Was the Son of God. You can't have known this by what you know of me, Peter. It has been revealed to you by God.
Yes, and Diogo today.
With his hair all cut.
I know. Ian Roma, as I said, came to my home yesterday. It was such a pleasure, but I didn't.
Yes,
I'm such a fan of the film and of the Bible series, and then to meet Roma, there we are. Yeah, we had a lovely lunch.
It was so good.
It is different to see you as a you in modern day life. And what reaction do you get from most people when they?
First of all, it's like they look at me like, I kind of know you somewhere.
Yeah.
But they don't. I mean, because of the hair and the facial hair and everything.
And you're not wearing a robe and sandals?
No, I'm not in sandal mode. No, but it's really. But once they recognize me, they reach out to me, and it's wonderful. So
your cast for this must have been incredible. When I watched it last night, and I looked at you, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, you speak when you're not speaking. Like, there's a presence about you on camera. How did this role come about? How did you get it?
I'm really happy that you asked that, because it was really important to me. People tend to grab on the words, and what exactly that he said, and sometimes they forget about the wider message of those words, and it was all about love and compassion and altruism. So I really invested everything that that I am and I became available to fulfill in fullness, to give that body of before and after those words.
You said yesterday you were overwhelmed though by the thought of embodying this person in history who means so much to so many people.
Exactly.
And but from those of us who
I freaked out. I was in shock. I was in panic because I knew the responsibility. And I mean, I went to Jerusalem, and while I was there, I felt on my own being the importance of the story, and it's so alive.
I think what's great about this film too, there are a lot of scenes that everybody knows about, like walking on water, and you wonder how is that going to be depicted in such a way that it's authentic. There's such authenticity to this movie, right? I mean,
Today we have the technology to fulfill it in visual ways that we're actually going to be blown by. And 50 years ago, we don't have those. We didn't have that technology to visualize all this wonderful miracle.
I think it's wonderful. The best thing about it is that it doesn't answer. We've always in history talked about who killed Jesus, and it doesn't. It says why. Why Pilate had to do what he did. Why Caiaphas with the Sanhedrin had to, and why everybody was protecting their kingdom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So it is a political thriller as well. It has not only the thing about this movie that I really enjoy and I'm really proud of is it's epic, it's a big scale, but it's also a really personal and intimate story, and it's a close-up of the whole life of Jesus, the whole thing since the nativity, but it don't end at the crucifixion. It goes through the resurrection, so it's wonderful.
Fascinating.
You did a beautiful
You
job.
sure did. Wow.
Great to see you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Son of God will be out in theaters this Friday. Don't miss it. All right. It is terrific. All right, you can't.
Power, glory, and honor to Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of GMS and showing me this great truth. And shalom and salutations to my brothers in the four corners pumping out this truth with sincerity, long suffering, and longevity. I'm going to get into is Isaiah chapter 2, verse 6. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they have replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. So we're about to go to the word for soothsayers. And the word for soothsayers is Ainan, which means to make, appear, produce, bring clouds, to practice soothsaying, conjure, to observe times, practice soothsayings or spiritism or magic or augury or witchcraft, soothsayer, enchanter, sorceress, diviner, fortune teller, barbarian, Meonian, participle. So we're going to get really on the sorcerers the enchanters and the witchcraft, all right, that magic, all right, dealing with different spirits, all right, like Chris Angel. When he levitates, he's using a spirit to help him levitate, all right, that's witchcraft. So now we're going to go to Isaiah 30:10, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophecy deceit. Alright? The right things is exactly what the Most High has written, and going into the ancient Hebrew and knowing what those words are. Alright? Your pastors are not doing that. They're just reading you off of the English and thinking that the English is going to get you. So we're going to go to the word for seers is ra'ah. Ra'ah, which means to see, look at, inspect, perceive, consider, to see, to perceive, to have vision, to look at, regard, look after, see after, learn about, observe, watch, consider, to give attention, to discern, distinguish, to gaze at, to present oneself, to be seen, to be visible, to show, to cause, to look intently at, behold, cause at a gaze. All right, which means there's certain people that can look at you and they know exactly if you're a good spirit or you're a bad spirit. They could tell you, oh, something's going to happen to you or something's going to happen to your family, and they're not witches that do that. All right, because they're not doing it off of money. They're just doing it because the spirit is upon them to tell them what's going to happen, to warn you. All right, those are good things. But when you go to a psychic, now that's witchcraft. But if somebody comes up to you and is like, look, I don't know how you're going to take this, but I see this in your life, then you might as well take heed to what that person's talking about. So now we're going to go to prophecy, which is chazah. Chazah, which means prophecy, to see, perceive, look, behold, prophecy, provide, to see, behold, to see as a seer in the ecstatic state, to see, perceive with the intelligence, to see by experience, to prove. Alright? Now we're going to go to the last word, which is for deceits. This is Mathalah. Okay, Mathalah. Yes, one word, Mathalah. Mathalah, which means deceptions, illusions. Alright? So that's what they want. They don't want the righteous things that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has gotten written for us. They want the smooth and the bullshit of the world. Alright? Alright, now you see him, you said everybody's talking about the word, they get us so much on the word, but what about the miracles? What about the miracles? Well, the book is all about the word, and we're going to prove it. Alright? This is St. John, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was the Most High. So why are you talking about miracles? Right? You're getting people all on the miracles and not the word of the Most High, because you're going off. And this is John, chapter 1, verse 14. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. All right? And the Word became flesh. That's Yahushua and Mashiach, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Now this is 2 Timothy. The meat's in verse 3 and verse 4, but I'm going to go with 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. All right? I charge thee therefore before the Most High and the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long-suffering and doctrine. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap up to themselves teachers having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. Now, a fable is trying to talk about all the different miracles that Yahushua did. It's already been stated that he did so many miracles you don't even have enough books for. So why are you getting on the miracles when he talks about when the Yahushua was the Word and the Word became flesh? So the Word is important, but that Son of God movie is going way off. So all those that go to see this movie when it comes out and you think that you're going to get enlightenment, you've been fooled. About to get on the fact that he said that, Yahushua, who he calls him Jesus, that he wore a robe. Really? And y'all got it really authentic? Really? So he's white with that type of dark brown hair? Really? Come on now, man. Y'all don't go with the words. All right, this is Revelation 1 and 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, not a robe, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Now, when you see the movie, he ain't gonna have that. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, which means it's woolly in texture, white in color, like a Negro, and his eyes were as the flame of fire. But what you're going to see, you're not going to see that. You're going to see a dark brown hair-looking guy. And the problem with that is this guy, he's actually an Israelite, but he don't even know it. Revelation 1 and 15, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace. And his voice as the sound of many waters, which means he spoke very loud and with a great authority. But his feet is like unto fine brass. If my feet is dark, like brass, and then they burn it in a furnace, why is this guy white and light-skinned looking? And now they got like I can't even say if he's a Puerto Rican or not. But they got an Israelite doing the part, but he's not dark enough because he doesn't fit the scripture. He does not fit what's actually written. And they're turning the Most High's word into a fable. That's how we know that these are the last times. Shalom, Mafia. Talk about how God is love, right? God is love. Yes, he is. But you're supposed to fear him, all right? That's the real love. It's you fearing him. That's the beginning of his wisdom, the beginning of his love. Now we're going to go into what type of love is he talking about. This is 1 John chapter 5, verse 3. And it reads, "For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous." So what love is he talking about? The commandments. But what love is these people telling you? Worldly bullshit love. This is 2 John chapter 1, verse 6. "And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment, that as ye have heard from the beginning, you shall walk in it." So why is this guy telling you that God is just all love, and he's not even explaining you what type of love it is? Because he's there to fool you. All right? And all those that listen to him, you will be fooled. I don't really care if you get fooled. I'm only here for the Israelites. 144,000 and 1/3 of the Israelites. Now, I will also take in strangers. Because it's written for us to take in strangers, and we will also take in slaves. Because it's written for us to take in slaves. And we'll also take in people who will convert. Because it's written for us to take in people who convert. But if it wasn't written, I wouldn't be taking you. Therefore, you go by what's written and not by somebody's vain, bullshit, puffed up philosophies. Shalom.